As for secrets, there's a really good one. He's gonna kill me for telling you this. I was in grade 6 at the time. The process was a little bit of a long one. Like I went in, the original audition, I sort of, prepped it as usual, went in, had a bit of fun and didn't think much of it. And then when we got the call back, Mum and I had to fly up to Queensland and we did a workshop, I guess, with maybe 3 other tailors and 2 other Hectors and all that sort of thing. And they were sort of mixing and matching us kids together. I remember Mum, God bless her, was like, we're really proud of you for getting this far, and we sort of treated it accordingly. And I went back to school and it must have been about a week later. I was sitting in my classroom, I still remember it so clearly. My mum, my nan and my sister all suddenly turned up in the window of the classroom up the ramp. They came through the door and said, "You're Taylor Fry." I remember I was school captain at the time, which was, I was very proud of that. And I was like, I'm gonna have to, leave that behind and leave my duties behind. Like, unbeknownst to me that my life was about to change forever. Other than, I think, a Happy Meal commercial. It was my first on-screen role. For years, I was actually I did voiceovers. I was the Came Up voiceover girl. That was my little segue into the industry. But no, by far and large, Mortified changed everything. I do just remember immediately falling in love with the camaraderie of being on set, and that was from the get-go. And from that point on, I was just in love. I really was. When I did go back to school, it was sort of a few months in, or maybe even halfway into year 7. So I sort of had to come in to the high school experience. I'd sort of explored that through Mortified. Like there's a whole changeover where she does go from primary school to high school. So there's a lot of art imitating life, which I'm really grateful for. My dad was my principal in high school from year 8 to year 12. And so there was never any it was never about me being, in TV or anything. It was like, it's principal's daughter. So I had bigger fish to fry, bigger concerns. But he was a legend. I was, again, really lucky. Almost instantly, they were family and have remained family to this day. I remember, I think I was about 20 or, just short of 21. I was travelling with my family. We were on holidays and we went out to Fraser Island, which is quite remote. We just went off to a little side pocket and there was a place you could swim, but not a well-known one. Dad decided he was just going to have a quick dip. There's a man out there, he sort of looks at him and Dad looks at him back and and he's recognised him and they obviously know each other. From across the water, probably about 50 metres, maybe 100, they were all the way out. I just hear at the top of his lungs, "Hey, Squirt!" And I've turned around and it's Andrew Blackman who played my dad. So there were my 2 dads in the middle of nowhere. All hearts find their way home. Families forever. He came to my 21st, he brought his family and he made a little speech at my 21st. As for secrets, there's a really good one. He's gonna kill me for telling you this. Luke, who played Leon, I'm not even sure if he knows this, but he was the first boy to ever ask me out behind the scenes. So whilst Taylor Fry was sort of pining over Leon, old tables will turn behind the scenes. Yeah, I think at the time, Nick and Maya, who played Brittany and Hector, they had a little bit of as much of a romance as you can have when you're 12 or 13 or whatever they were. It was very sweet. If anything, I think it was a bit of a pity ask from Luke. He was probably felt a bit sorry for me. And he asked me and for all intents, I was mortified. I was beside myself. I'd never been asked out by a boy. The consummate professional as well. I don't where I eat. So I was like, no, I couldn't possibly. I'm sorry. We'll just have to stay friends. But yeah, treat him mean, keep him keen, It's actually not my lines that I remember. I really remember Diana's lines the most clear because they were always such good, I just remember, have fun at school. This is so embarrassing. I've got full heat rash now. The Mortified face would be, I can't do it, I laugh. At 28 years of age, still got it. It was really hard, as I said, our lives had changed, irrefutably forever. And still to this day, I think there's always a part of my heart that will always miss that time in my life. I'm so grateful that it just so happened to be the cast and the crew. It was just one of those special ones. I remember at the time when when it did wrap, I was really ready to go home, and I really missed my brother and my sister and my dad, and who were all waiting, and, you know, start high school and do that. And I think that's how I've lived my life since, again, like striking up that balance of knowing when it's time to go home and check back in with people that know and love you. I remember when I was 18 traveling overseas, and I think I was in Spain or Italy, and just flicking through again, and Mortified was on, but I was dubbed. It was in another language, and that was surreal. That was one of those moments that I was like, but yeah, no, I've definitely watched here and there, and because it's kind of like watching a home video, you know, it reminds you so much of such a beautiful time in your life. If they came to me and were like, let's do this route, 100% I would do it, 100%, because it'd have to, you know, it'd have to be with everyone. It'd have to be one in, all in. You'd think by now she's left home after the embarrassment that her parents caused her, but if she's smart, she would have stayed, because that's a beautiful home. Yeah, I don't know where Taylor would be. Honestly, with that kid, from every episode, from an astronaut to a Buddhist monk, I'm pretty sure, like, she might be in prison, you know, like there was some sketchy things that we did on that show, so you would never know with that girl, but I'm sure the world would have been an oyster. I was really fortunate that children's television was a huge part of my upbringing on set, from Mortified, which was, you know, grade 6 all the way through to year 12. Got to, you know, travel to some amazing places, meet some, again, lifelong friends. That's something that I really am so grateful for. Like, every single job I've done, I've taken away sisters and brothers and family, you know. It's the age-old story, and it's kind of notorious that transitioning across from children's television to adult drama and all that sort of thing is a little bit tricky. And I definitely had years where I had to move away from acting to figure out if it's what I wanted to do. Because when you're a kid, you know, of course you're going to jump headfirst into it and fall in love with it, but I think it was important for me to go away and miss it and really know that that's what I wanted to do, and it wasn't just a fun thing that I fell into as a kid. My friend Charlotte and I, who did A Girl's World with me, Charlotte Nickdow, she's been over in the States, so she just got back, but during lockdown we developed a film, or very infant stages, but we're really excited about that. So I'm heading back down to Melbourne to shoot a little short with her. I'm ambassador for Mazda now, and have been for the last couple of years. So I was in lockdown for the first year of my contract with them, and so I definitely didn't get a chance to properly explore or go. So I'm in the middle of planning a trip to Tassie at the moment, which will be really exciting. I think I've reached an age now where I'm just really happy to go with the flow, and similar to finding your way back to different people, it's the same with work, you know. It always comes in and out of your life when you need it, and certain jobs when you need it, and it's being on set is by far and large where I feel most whole and most myself. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to what's around the corner. We'll see.